Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. We are continuing here with episode 5 of a multi-part special series entitled The House on King Road and the Affidavit of Probable Cause. The Affidavit of Probable Cause was signed and filed approximately 2.5 years ago on December 29, 2022, by Detective Payne, the lead investigator for the Moscow Police Department, regarding the catastrophic events that occurred at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, on November 13, 2022, and details law enforcement's hunt for the person or people responsible. Where we left off in our last episode, we discussed, amongst other things, that 2 Washington State University officers had sent a tip in regarding a car that law enforcement was seeking, and that was referred to as Suspect Vehicle 1, and when Mr. Kohberger's name was first referenced in the Affidavit of Probable Cause. We are continuing here at the bottom of page number 10 that leads into pages 11 and 12. The bottom of 10 going into 11 states as follows. Based on my own experience and communication with Washington law enforcement, I know that Idaho and Washington require front and back license plates to be displayed. Investigators believe that Kohberger is still driving the 2015 white Elantra because his vehicle was captured on December 13, 2022, by a license plate reader in Loma, Colorado. Information provided by a query to a database. Kohberger's Elantra was then queried on December 15, 2022, by law enforcement in Hancock County, Indiana. On December 16, 2022, at approximately 2:26 p.m., surveillance video showed Kohberger's Elantra in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. The sole occupant of the vehicle was a white male whose description was consistent with Kohberger. Kohberger has family in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, learned through a TLO search and locate tool database query. Based on information provided on the WSU website, Kohberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department, we learned that Kohberger's past education included undergraduate degrees in psychology and cloud-based forensics. These records also showed Kohberger wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Kohberger wrote in his essay he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technological data in public safety operations. Kohberger also posted a Reddit survey, which can be found by an open source internet search. The survey asked for participants to provide information to, quote, understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime, end of quote. As part of this investigation, law enforcement obtained search warrants to determine cellular devices that utilized cellular towers in close proximity to the King Road residence on, and ladies and gentlemen, we now need to move on to page 12 to continue. November 13th, 2022, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. After determining that Kohberger was associated to both the 2015 white Elantra and the 8458 phone, investigators reviewed these search warrant returns. A query of the 8458 phone in these returns did not show the 8458 phone utilizing cellular tower resources in close proximity to the King Road residence between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Based on my training experience and conversations with law enforcement officers that specialize in the utilization of cellular tower records as part of investigations, individuals can either leave their cellular telephone at a different location before committing a crime or turn their cellular telephone off prior to going to a location to commit a crime. This is done by subjects in an effort to avoid alerting law enforcement that a cellular device associated with them was in a particular area where a crime is committed. I also know that on numerous occasions, subjects will surveil an area where they intend to commit a crime prior to the date of the crime. Depending on the circumstances, this could be done a few days before or for several months prior to the commission of a crime. During these types of surveillance, it is possible that an individual would not leave their cellular telephone at a separate location or turn it off, since they do not plan to commit the offense on that particular day. On December 23, 2022, I applied for and was granted a search warrant for historical phone records between November 12, 2022 at 12 a.m. and November 14th at 12 a.m. for the 8458 phone held by the phone provider AT&T approximately 24 hours preceding and following the times of the homicides. On December 23, 2022, pursuant to that search warrant, I received records for the 8458 phone from AT&T. These records indicated that the 8458 phone is subscribed to Bryan Kohberger at an address in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the bottom of page 12. There's a few more words here that will lead us into page 13, which is where we will continue on with episode 6. We will now conclude this episode of this special series, The House on King Road and the Affidavit of Probable Cause. Please join us for our next episode where we will continue where we left off here. Until then, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us today.